All right, guys, welcome to the Give It Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. Of course, I'm the host of the most, of course, Black Spartan, of course, the my man to your left, to your right. Showa guy Joe, how you doing, sir?
My gun is 2 trains. Your argument is invalid.
And also, I was not ready.
Well, it makes
for that.
noise now too. Happy Lunar New Year. That's always a mouthful. Or Akemashite Omedetou.
Oh, right. That is today, isn't it?
Yep.
It starts today. I believe the actual day is the 11th, but still. Year of the Dragon. Real big year this year.
I was just about to ask.
Fun we had this weekend.
Nice.
Okay, because most of my upper management is of Eastern descent, and they brought a whole preschool in today with like monks and everything, and symbols and robes, and gave me this.
Oh, red envelope.
I got one with $20 in it, and then one with it. I can't get it to stop. Yeah, with whatever that says.
I'm Japanese.
Nice.
I can't read Chinese, so.
And of course, we have Safari TV with us as well, who apparently got gifts. So usually, guys,
says, but thank you.
Yeah, no. Hopefully, it means something. Hopefully, it means good luck because my Japanese a little old. My Japanese is rusty as shit. But
I mean, it's got to be rusty because that's Chinese.
I was gonna say, I think it's Mandarin.
You know, I have one of these days. I had planned to actually learn one of those languages. But anyway,
it's like what God asked me one day at work. It's like, Joe, how good's your Spanish? Pretty bad. It's Japanese.
That being said, guys, we do try to watch our language on here, but sometimes words do fly. At the same time, we may show trailers that might be a little too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Sorry for that. Welcome. So we actually are going to start off actually very nice because this wasn't on my bingo card of 2024 as far as movies go, and Apple TV has decided we need more Franklin. For all those who don't know, the character from Peanuts that or as I remember him, the one kid that sat on the one side of the table while everybody else looked at him like a jury. It seems we are getting a new Franklin movie. Joe, anything you want to say about this? Or Tafari, anything you want to say about this before we started?
I like it because I kind of sympathize with Franklin in this one for wholly different reasons than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Franklin is very clearly a military kid, so I know what it's like to move around and meet new people on a constant basis. It's very trying, especially for a child. So it's very good to see that we actually get to see one portion of Franklin, but the portion of me that interests me the most is it's about a military kid trying to make friends in a new time, especially considering I believe the Peanuts is supposed to take place like right before World War II or right after World War I believe is the given time frame of the Peanuts, or right after World War II. One of those two time frames, but
I want to say World War I, but you're probably right.
I was trying to figure that out too, like if it was
it's
more
one of the two. It's after one of the two great wars. Is when the Peanuts is supposed to be. I think so.
Whenever James Brown was dropping albums, that's
okay. That would have to be World War II because that kind of dates it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for everybody, here is the trailer for Welcome Home, Franklin, which again is still weird that I'm saying that in 2024.
Hi, I'm Franklin. I've lived in a lot of different places. My family's always on the move. This was it. Our new town. Do you want to... Excuse me. Making new friends can be hard. I'm Franklin Armstrong. My name is Charlie Brown.
The big soapbox derby race is coming to town. The winning team gets a trophy and free pizza for a whole year.
What do you think, Charlie Brown? Partners?
Partners. Hey, Franklin, what kind of music do you like?
The godfather of soul, James Brown. You're not related, are you?
I don't believe so.
My grandpa always says you gotta want it to get it. Let's see what we can really do. Friendships are not perfect, but we can get through the rough spots together.
A best friend is someone that you can totally trust. That always has your back.
You know you found your home when you're surrounded by good friends.
Well, as you can see, guys, that's the trailer for Welcome Home, Franklin. We'll be on Apple TV Plus February 16th. It's good. It's wholesome. I can live with that. Snoopy is by far the laziest dog I have ever seen. It's just he is slightly petty. I'll give him that, but he is the laziest dog I've ever seen in animation. Well, no, him and Brian may have a run for their money because I was going to say laziest dog in animation. That might be a race, but anyway. But it looks good though. But speaking of other trailers, guys, that we also didn't expect, Moana, which again with The Rock, I know from the world of WWE.
Yeah, I was not expecting a sequel to this, honestly.
I wonder if they hit one of those break glass in case of emergency scenarios, because I don't think any of us expected that to happen.
No, considering the fact that I didn't think it would need a sequel, but this is actually a short trailer, but it's a teaser. But here it is. Yeah, pretty much short and sweet and to the point. To me, it's like why. I'm not saying that we can't do without one, but where does it go from here?
I'm trying to remember how Moana ended. It's been so long.
Well, I mean, the whole thing was returning the heart back to basically their version of Gaia. So basically, when the heart was returned, the seas were restored, the islands were restored, and she was able to, venture out with everybody else. So that was kind of her coming of age, I guess, story. But it's like, so you have Moana 2, now what? I mean, that's what I'm getting out of it. It's like, where do you go to from there?
Muted, Joe.
Oh, am I muted?
No, Joe's muted.
Oh, Joe, you're muted. Sorry.
You muted me.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Mission control is funky over here. I apologize profusely. But what are you going to say, Joe?
I said I'll take it over Frozen 3.
I still need to see what the second one was and even why we needed it.
So the second one was basically, oh crap, our grandpa's racist. That's it.
Yeah. It's like Frozen was pretty much saying Frozen was pretty much that. And again, as long as Disney cranks out musical songs, especially catchy songs, that's never going to go away. I've accepted that in life. Just being honest, it's just one of those things to where and again, I know it's not our demographic, because I know with my kids, my nephews and nieces, they love Frozen. My niece loves the songs out of there, so I can't knock her for it. But again, it's just one of those things we just gonna have to deal with. But speaking of things that we are going to have to deal with, especially if you're on the Funimation side of life, the next part of this news you may not like because, if you have digital copies from Funimation,
no, you don't.
Tafar's going to beat me to this. If you have copies from Funimation digital copies, of course, for all those that don't know, Crunchyroll has bought Funimation a long time ago. Of course, Crunchyroll sat there and said, we're not taking over. We're not going to shut down Funimation. It's going to be two existing companies sharing a grand library. We found out that was a lie because Funimation is actually shutting down very soon. And with that being said, the news that came out is that if you have Funimation digital copies, as Tafari has said so nicely, you don't. Because what happened was that Crunchyroll announced that it will not grant users access to Funimation digital copies when the merging is done, which will actually happen on April 2nd of this year. which again, they sat there and said this, and here's the funny part. This is the quote. We understand that you may have concerns about your digital copies from Funimation. Please note that Crunchyroll does not currently support Funimation digital copies, which means that access to previously available digital copies will not be supported. That being said, refunds? I mean, to me, it's like, okay, you're basically saying that you're not going to try to support a company's data, a company's digital properties that you purchased. Okay, fine. What is interesting is because on Reddit and on Twitter, a lot of Funimation owners are like, well, are we going to get refunds for things we can't access anymore? Or are we pretty much SOL? So I'm going to throw it to the round table on this one. What do you guys think? That, I mean, I don't have any Funimation. I mean, I have Crunchyroll. I've never had Funimation, but I can only imagine if you did purchase things on Funimation and it was digital, again, I think we can safely say in this three of us in this group, physical media is going to take a whole new meaning to what we purchase from here on out. But what do you guys think?
You want to go ahead, Joe?
I mean, I got all the anime I want to see, and it's stuff that's not on either platforms. So, like, this doesn't bother me in the least. But, I mean, it sucks that people are once again losing because they're shifting to digital. But, I mean, I've always been a physical media person myself. The only time I do digital is when it's like a Japanese imported or something very, very hard to find. Like, for example, on my Vita, I still have a copy of the Fate Stay Night Fighter.
Okay.
That thing's been delisted and discontinued for years, so that thing's probably never coming off that console.
But again, like for us, like I said, for a lot of us, like I said, for me, you and Tafari, we've always been physical media. That's what we were raised up on that. That's what we went by. Say what?
Yeah. I mean, it's just because we grew up with it. So
yeah, so we're used to it.
It's ours. It's mine. It's to quote Daffy Duck, mine, down, mine.
Yeah. So it's like you're seeing the next generation where, again, I get it. The whole idea of digital downloads, you have it either downloaded to your console or tablet or your cloud, depending on what you're using. But again, I can't help but stress this about physical. This is an attack on physical media because we've seen it. We've seen Best Buy has stopped selling physical media. Walmart has sat there and said, "I'm sorry, say Tafari."
I was gonna say Reddit had people fiending like junkies last night because they accidentally relisted the Oppenheimer Steelbook, but they listed it for $10, which currently it resells for $100 to $200. So there are people on the page when you try to check out, it just says it does not ship to your location. So people have just been on the page all day hitting refresh for something that they're not going to get.
And that part right there is where it's like and that tells you off the bat the level of a need for physical media copies or collector's editions is the words I'm looking for. But again, with going back to with anime, it's like animation. I don't think they've actually considered, and I think Crunchyroll still may turn around because again, they said that after April you don't have access anymore. I think that if enough people made enough stink about it, I think that Crunchyroll may change its mind or actually look into how it can be supporting it because when you paid for something you've had access to, only to turn around and find out you no longer have access to it, it's like, so you basically just took my money and ran.
Basically, but at the same time, we now have an anime monopoly, so they literally don't have to even address it if they don't want to, which they have been doing since the whole merger started, as we saw with the cast of Mob Psycho 100. When Homeboy said, "Can we have reunion pay since y'all own everything?" And they just said, "We are recasting officially," and that was an awkward third season. We'll give him a second.
Crazy as far as that level, and you are absolutely right that Crunchyroll has sat there and has become the Dr. Evil of anime collections. It's like they've done what Disney's done. Disney turned around and purchased a crap load of media. You would think that they didn't violate any antitrust laws, which I think is interesting.
I'm surprised that they didn't raise a red flag because I'm like, okay, Sony owns an entire block of like an entire genre at this point.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, it's like, but they were allowed to do it. The crazy part was being allowed to do it, and on top of that, now it's like, okay, well, who's going to stop us? And that's the thing. That's the thing that scares me about one entity owning. Well, I won't say gatekeeping, but let's kind of be honest. They are gatekeeping for the U.S. At the same time, if they decided elsewise, they could turn around and there and say, we're going to jack up prices, and if you don't want to watch, well, that's on you.
I think they did. I think it's officially on after the sundown. The annual cost is now $100 a month versus whatever it is. Because the only reason I have Funimation is because I don't know, one day I just went through my movie library and just redeemed every code I had. So I was like, I redeemed someone Movies Anywhere, a bunch on Vudu, link those accounts, and then the Funimation app. So I have Dragon Ball Super Broly, the first two My Hero movies, and One Piece Stampede. And I'm just gonna enjoy these on like one last plane ride before the app just goes bye bye.
But you would think, and again, we're all speaking from IT backgrounds here. You would think there'd be the option to download them. It's like, okay, you don't support them, then give us the ability to download the media ourselves and let it be on us. It's like, if you can't support it, give it to us. I'm pretty sure some fan sub or some group is going to reverse engineer it and say, here's how you can play it. Which, again, they won't do. And if Crunchyroll does raise prices, because, again, I like Crunchyroll. I like paying my $9 a month for premium for Crunchyroll. Do I think that it'll go up because they're the only source? Yeah. I hope not to $100 because that's saying a lot of it. If that's a hell of a price increase even for a streaming service. But again, they're the only service now. So
who's not to say you literally have nowhere else to. And the thing is, I was asking for like this since the merger, can I take my stuff over there? Yes or no? And everybody's like, well, most of the library is already over there. I'm like, okay. I've been watching the One Piece dub catch up with almost no coverage because it's not on the main app for like 2 years now. Because it's only on Funimation. It just got to Crunchyroll like late last year, I think. And then when I finally converted my Funimation to a Crunchyroll account, I looked it up. I can't find all my movies over there. I think they have One Piece Stampede, the first My Hero movie, the third one's MIA. I think Broly's over there subbed, but yeah, I looked for the second My Hero film. They do not have this.
And that just goes to show you that they've already began to remove it. But like I said, they could turn around and give us the dead. I mean, it's a long way between here and April. They could still get the download option, or they may even say we changed our minds, we support it. We gonna see. But I will say this: if Crunchyroll does raise its prices, that's gonna make some people want to go to the high seas. That's all I'm gonna sit there and say. There's gonna be a lot more pirates.
They're gonna raise prices.
So John,
they have confirmed they are going to raise prices.
Well, time to go to the high seas.
And then if you want to get merchandise, you can't even go anywhere else. Like Right Stuff Anime used to be one of my other places to go to. A lot of these other sites that sell anime merch, they just take you to crunchyroll.com/shop now.
Oh yeah, so it's either that or games.
So Sony bought up the block. I think the only thing we have left standing is FYE.
Yeah, but even that's going to stand. Even that, I mean, between FYA and GameStop. Wait, does GameStop bought Think Geek? So that's between what GameStop, FYE, and Crunchyroll is like the last places, unless you go to the off-brand sites, or go to.
They don't get bought up too, because Right Stuff was my off-brand ish. Right Stuff was my legitimate back alley site to go to get stuff for like a decent price. And then I just saw that big Crunchyroll ban. I'm like, damn, they just everybody.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting, but we're definitely gonna keep on that as it comes along because come April, it's gonna be a rough time. Like I said, everybody's gonna be straw hat pirates if it all doesn't work the way we would like it to work, but we'll see. Speaking of games, guys, another announcement has been made by CG Project Red. We are not talking about The Witcher 4. We are actually talking about a sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. They did announce that CG Project Red will be working on it with a new lead writer, new design director, and executive producer. They did say that it shouldn't take 10 years. Keep in mind, the first Cyberpunk 2077, when it was first announced way back when, took almost a decade before it actually got released. So with this sequel, because they already have the platform in place, CG Project Red does not think it should take that long. Again, for me, before I toss this to you guys, for me, Cyberpunk 2077, when it first started off, yes, it was buggy, it was patchy, even killed a few PS4s. But after multiple patches, multiple teardowns, I think they finally got a platform to where it works so we can all enjoy it. I think that very same platform can be used for sequel. Again, if you haven't played 2077 or the DLC Phantom Liberty, you really should. Both of them were very well done. But fellas, how do we feel with another sequel to 2077, even though I'm going to be honest with you. If they follow the first game, where do you really go with the second unless you're going with a completely different new character?
I have no clue.
Oh.
That was okay.
Considering I practically live in the Cyberpunk world, logging over 225 hours into that game, I probably won't be with V if you get the totally new ending that's given to the game. Considering you're totally without cybernetics and the ending of the game just lets you be a normal person in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'll even be in Night City in the new game. You may be over in DC. You could be elsewhere. You could even be in space because they do have space colonies in that game now.
Yeah, but that was what I was wondering. Like, because don't get me wrong, CG Project Red has no problem in the story department, considering the fact that they've ran with the Witcher series and that Wild Hunt is still my favorite. Witcher 4 is basically going to be a different hunter altogether, so I'm looking forward to that. So story has never been a problem with that company, but it's like, but people still, some people who played Cyberpunk 2077 in the early days, they still have that I'm not gonna say PTSD, but that flashback of glitches, of crashes, or game saves being corrupted, starting all over from the beginning again. Hair selections. I mean, it took them 5 patches to finally get locks.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
The early release was something.
Yeah, it was a shit show. I'm gonna call it what it is. That early release was between them and Anthem, they actually looked a bit better than Anthem, and Anthem is still one of my favorite games that should have been. It should have been a great Destiny-esque game, and yet, well, we saw what happened with that. EA pretty much killed it. But again, with Cyberpunk 2077, I'm not against it. I'm looking forward to the sequel, see what they come with. But what are you gonna say, Joe?
The only, and this is just like theorizing, there is no word on this whatsoever.
None.
Is we've already, with Cyberpunk 2077, we've already dealt with Al Cunningham, who was one of the main characters in the actual RPG. She had the golden arm. Yeah. And we've dealt with Johnny Silverhand in this game, who had the literal silver hand. So if they're going to continue using characters from the tabletop RPG, the only one we really have left that we can work with is Morgan Blackhand. So maybe it will have something to do with him. Again, keep in mind, this is entirely speculative on my part, but if you've already taken 2 of the major players of the tabletop out, and you still have at least one on the table, I'm going to say probably we may be dealing with him in the next game.
Possible. I wouldn't be against it, but it'd be possible. I mean, considering the fact that, or he may not, like you said, it may not even be in Night City. It actually might be a completely different location itself. But I don't know.
Didn't they have like a giant story add-on or DLC like in the last year or so?
Yeah, Phantom Liberty.
The one with Idris Elba.
So what was that? Just like an extension or a side thing, or what was?
Oh, it's almost like a second game unto itself.
Pretty much. It's actually, if you ever get a chance to play, you should.
Is this going to be like building on top of that? Is this all going to be a whole new game?
We don't know.
That's the thing about it. They're being very tight-lipped as far as how the sequel will work.
I mean, an update just came out to where you more quality of life stuff, and you can start painting your own cars. So they're still adding stuff to this game.
Oh, so we're going Midnight Club Dub Edition. We're going Midnight Club.
It's either that or Project Gotham.
Yeah, true. But we'll follow that up as it comes along, as more news comes out, especially with the Xbox news that we're going to talk about, because there is speculation with the event next week. But a couple more trailers, guys, we got. This one, again, I give Safari credit because this popped up on Blurred's Eye View, because it is Super Bowl weekend, guys. And, of course, for Super Bowl, we always watch it for the commercials or trailers. Money's still on you, Ryan Reynolds. I have to give our other podcast brother and Chris Fury credit. He said this first. Money is on you, Ryan Reynolds. You have 1 day before the Super Bowl to give us a Deadpool 3 trailer. Are you really going to make us watch this game and go halftime just to watch Deadpool 3 trailer? We're kind of hoping you give us to us a little bit sooner. But that also being said, we actually got a trailer for, and again, I did not know this, but Safari, you knew about this. You want to tell people about the Knuckles TV series?
Yeah, so there's going to be a mini, basically limited Knuckles series that bridges the gap between Sonic 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. They've been talking about it, and the only teaser we've had so far is they've added Knuckles to like the Paramount Plus commercial. Yeah. I didn't know when or if this was ever going to be ready, so this was a shock to me that they actually announced it.
Nice. Well, with that being said, guys, here is the trailer for the Knuckles television series on Paramount Plus.
You're an alien. You're super powerful. You recently saved the world with your friends. What do you like to do for fun?
Vengeance.
I was thinking more like reading or yoga.
Hey, buddy. Isn't it great to finally relax?
I am an Echidna warrior. I only remain on Earth because I made a vow to you and the Force. So I made myself at home.
Nope, we are not turning our living room into some kind of gladiator fighting pit. What is Ozzy doing here?
He will be challenging his greatest enemy.
Is that our mailman?
This is not a place of battle, so I will begin my quest. Come, Wade.
Well, most people think I'm a joke.
I do not make jokes. I make warriors.
Let's go get him.
Knuckles. Without his little friends, he's vulnerable. He's the key to my newest creation.
You worked for Robotnik.
Bring me Knuckles.
Sorry, this lane is reserved.
You think you can take my power? Do I look like I need your power?
What are you talking about? Of course we need his power. It's the whole reason we're here.
You're mine.
I made a promise to protect this planet. I am ready.
Oh, snap! Someone's about to get slapped. I think today is going to be a beautiful day.
Knuckles, help me!
You gonna rescue him?
No, he must learn to rescue himself.
I'm not mad about that. That was the trailer for Knuckles. As you can see, guys, will be, I want to say it was April. I kind of caught some of it. I mean, hang on a second. There we go. Yeah, April 26th.
April 26th.
Yeah. So the fact that it's going to be a 6-episode event, and Tafari, you said this happens between Sonic 2
and 3 is what they've officially said since they already dropped the teaser for the third movie, which is going to come Christmas this same year. So,
gotcha. So again, Tafari, I have to give you credit. What did you sit there and say on other podcasts about Crime Mob song and the fact they were using it?
Oh yeah, somebody's like they used the Negro spiritual known as Nuck If You Buck and dropped it during Black History Month. Whoever planned the rollout, give them a raise.
Oh man, I mean,
it works for the title though. Crime Mob still
yeah.
get royalties.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it definitely works for the title. I'm sitting there laughing about it, and the whole idea of Knuckles, just and Idris Elba, that man, he's a busy ass dude. But
they didn't skip on the animation quality either, because usually some of the series get like
lazy,
flashed on the budget. They took 6-hour-long movie episodes and just threw them on Paramount. I am not complaining.
But I think because of what happened with Sonic, the initial Sonic the Hedgehog movie, they're not taking any chances on animation. It's like we're going to turn around and actually give it the budget it asked for. But for a 6-episode show between Knuckles versus the Hound, that's going to be interesting. It's kind of weird to see him without the scraggly beard, though. But Joe, what did you think?
Oh no, I'm down. I just want them to do some goofy crap and do some stuff with the comic books that has the creator, the Knuckles creator, controversially trying to keep Knuckles to himself. I need to see. We got the hat.
I heard something about that. Like we only get one echidna because of something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because all the other echidnas were his creation. So, like his dad, his girlfriend, his future daughter, all that one dude. And since he split with the Archie comic, he took all that with him. So he technically does have legal precedent for all those extra characters. So still, I want to see Archimedes the Fire Ant. I want to be able to see his archenemy, the giant woolly mammoth, Big the Mammoth, or Woolly T Mammoth, or whatever it was. Who was Knuckles' thing.
Yeah.
We do at least get the hat. I like that they
we got the OVA hat.
Yeah.
We get his old school Australian hat, which I do dig.
And I think on top of a spin dash, we learned to glide in the series because he had the guy riding on his back like he used to in
That's what it looked like.
My only problem with this trailer is I feel they show too much.
It's a limited series, so you're not really given the.
Yeah, but I don't need to know there's power armor involving his quills in that. I want that to be a surprise. Just go with like the goofy stuff, and let it be like a couple of those TV shows that like fake you out in a heartbeat. This is gonna be like goofy time with the sheriff's sidekick. Oh no, there's crime bosses involved, probably.
The whole thing about the pulling hair, though, they kind of did foreshadow that in the first couple of Sonic movies.
Yeah, but we don't need to know that that's a plot point again in this. We could have been surprised.
But also true, but Kid Cudi is also in this too. So I'm like, there better be a fire soundtrack. That's all I know.
That man's too busy writing another comic book to be in this show.
Oh, he's got time.
I'm sure he's contributed to this soundtrack because he did a song for the last movie, didn't he? Or the first one?
Yeah, he did a song for the first one.
And then they just confirmed Live and Learn is going to be in the third movie by Crush 40.
Wow.
So that's actually a thing. I'm not sure if this is right or not, but they said that they are going to be remixing a majority of the music from Sonic Adventure 2 in Sonic 3.
I can see that.
I could see that because I want to see, if not the actual songs, at least like a beat remix of Pumpkin Hill and Wild Canyon, which, damn, I wish 100P could do those songs, but man, he's got some stuff going on. It's just one of the things where if you just waited for your blessings a little bit longer, you'd be thriving right now.
Pretty much. But yeah, it sounds like we're all agreeing about Knuckles. Like we said, guys, April 26th looks like it's going to be a fun little series. Who's
the other echidna we saw there? They can't show a bunch of them.
I think that may just be Knuckles in a disguise.
Yeah.
I think so.
If not, then it could be his grandfather. Like, as I said, the legality of using other echidnas is very, very murky. Because of that one dude, so
I mean, if not another echidna, if we can at least I would be impressed if we worked chaos into the plot somehow with
You
because
would
we don't
think.
know what happened to Longclaw and the rest of the echidnas.
Yeah.
And then if we are you probably don't want to do 1,000 introductions for Sonic 3. So getting some of them out the way in this series would be good. So if we got like a cameo from Rouge the Bat, I would be interested.
Yeah.
As long as we don't have to deal with Big the Cat. I don't need a 30-minute Big the Cat thing of him fishing.
I mean, we kind of did almost a semi-chaos plot temple in the last movie, and Big was nowhere to be found. So
that is true. But the other trailer that we do got, guys, again, I'm kind of looking forward to this one because A Quiet Place Day One, definitely.
I got the first 2 a year. Those I can throw on anytime.
Yeah. And again, with the third one, I love what they did with this one because they didn't repeat a formula. They decided to tell the whole story back from the beginning. But here's the trailer for A Quiet Place Day One. All right, guys, and that was the trailer for A Quiet Place Day One. As you can see, we know it's coming out in theaters on June, but we don't exactly have an exact date yet. It was cool. Oh, hi, Laura. Wait, we got aired a new Quiet. Yeah, we got a new Quiet Place movie, Laura. So, guys, I got to ask questions on this. Do you like the fact of what they're doing? Because don't get me wrong. A Quiet Place, A Quiet Place 2 were great movies, both written and directed by John Krasinski. And now he's giving us Day One, which again tells us exactly everything that happened beforehand. So I'm down for this. But what do you guys think?
I mean, that boy Jim Halpert is working, ain't he?
Man.
Ever since he got out of Dunder Mifflin, he's just been cranking out films.
Okay, might as well. But no, I'm looking forward to it. But the whole thing of explaining the creatures and explaining how they got here and the whole stampede, I was like, okay, this is
the way it starts. I'm like, did you guys just like nuke your own planet shit, and now you just fell over here?
Pretty much. That's what I got out of that. But
y'all just more violent physical symbiotes.
And at the same time, it's like, it opens up a whole new dynamic, which is what I like. It's like it doesn't stick with the whole mundane how do we make it out of here? And it's like different characters. I'm all for it. But Joe, what do you think?
I've always equated this to kind of like a offshoot of Aliens. Like this is like what the movie Alien 3 should have been, where the Xenos are on Earth. And just unleashed upon a city and just make the city into a hive. And in this case, the aliens themselves are actually not that far off and like designed to a degree, but
yeah,
I really liked it. It's a nice nice monster movie. It's one of the very few I actually enjoy because I'm not a big horror person, but one of the monster movies I really can get behind because it's not a gory movie.
Yeah,
which is the big bonus for me.
Oh, it's more suspense and visual than actual gore. Which again, I love. I love.
Curious, do the monsters like eat? Are the aliens eating people? Or are they just so triggered by sound they just kill whatever moves?
Now that I think about it, when I watch those movies, I think it was just the sound irritated them. I think the sound irritated them, and they just killed anything that made sound. That's what I think. I have to go back and actually watch that. I don't think
they always kind of get everyone out of there real quickly.
Yeah.
But the only person I kind of makes me question is when they found the old guy in the woods and he was standing over his wife.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't tell him had she been missing and she was just rotting for a while, or did they been feasting on it, or
I think they kill, but I don't think they feast. At least that's my guess. But
I'm just curious to see how a race of aliens makes New York City go quiet.
Send in Keith Lee. Anyway,
and then she's supposed to be deaf in the movie, right?
I thought she was mute.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what it was. Because I'm just I don't know if they explicitly said it, but I was kind of getting the vibe that she either can't hear or can't talk, or the explosion got her. That or what some people are saying is you can hear with her in the film, and when that meteor hits, her eardrums rupture, and you're basically hearing or living through her the rest of the film.
I take it as she was mute from jump.
Yeah.
And then she may be partially deaf from the meteor impact.
At least that's my guess. Because I was I thought that's the thing I got from that was I think she's mute from the beginning, which would be different because she can't make a sound pretty much. But anyway, we'll find out come June. So
I need that third one for the collection. Because the fact that he's I didn't plan to make anything past the first one, but the last one was such a hit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but
it's not like we're getting a Cloverfield anytime soon.
I don't see it. I like 10 Cloverfield Lane. I don't know why we haven't done that. Restored my faith in that franchise because the first movie was okay.
But where do you go from that one?
The answer is that French film that came out a long time ago, Sky Blue, where the aliens invade and they win.
I can see that being the fourth Quiet Place because they know how to kill him now.
Yeah, I can see that one. I have to look that up. I don't remember Sky Blue.
Have you really?
It's my mind is kind
of it's a small budget alien invasion thing where three couples are in an apartment having a party when the invasion hits.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just them living in the apartment while the invasion happens, and they see them
is that
trying
to they have tentacles grabbing people from each.
Yes,
I did see that. Yeah.
Then in the end, it turns out we lose and all sorts of stuff happens.
I'll go find that.
And then they made 3 direct-to-video sequels.
Damn.
No, but it's all the French things, so it's actually not bad.
I'll have to look that up. But speaking of things to look up, before we get to the Capcom question that I'm surprised they decided to ask their fans about, we did actually get another Street Fighter character that showed Ed. Of course, we did show kind of a teaser about Ed a few weeks back. We're actually getting gameplay trailer footage from him in Street Fighter 6.
This is Beat Square. Beat Square Station.
Seriously? I'm not interested in whatever you're pitching. You really want me to punch a hole through you? So, just who are you? You need to learn to stop pissing me off! I knew there'd be more of you. Let's go! Ring the bell! I'd be scared too. you put up a fight. Wasting my time. Time's over! Never underestimate me! One more! You could say I have potential.
Okay, so that was actually a gameplay trailer. Guys, I gotta ask because I don't remember Ed fighting like that. Ed fought. Go ahead, Joe.
So I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I just don't remember Ed fighting like that. Part Balrog, part M Bison. But go ahead.
So the reason why he fights like Balrog is because Balrog is his personal trainer. He literally hired Balrog to teach him. If you go over to the Capcom website, the Street Fighter 6 website, you get shown more things. First off, Ed is no longer reliant on targeted combos to do his special moves. He is back to Shoto motions to activate his things. Okay. However, as he has no kicks, his flicker jabs, which are the extended range ones, those of us that watch Hachime no Ippo, he is a Mashiba fighter. He does the giant bring it in, bring it back, or if we want to be SNK, he's Yamazaki with his little stick his hand out, put it back in the pocket stuff. Gotcha. Those are his kicks. So his kicks are punches at range, which will do less damage but have extended range. There's also, we get a new stage, the Ruin Lab, where Ed runs his own syndicate for actually not nefarious purposes, to where he takes in Bison test subject refugees and help them find new purposes in life despite the thing. Okay. The stage itself actually has two really cool Easter eggs. The chair is the chair that is used to make Canada Violence Kin from the OG Street Fighter II animated movie. And if you look on the chair, you see Bison's cap.
That is true.
And you see failed Seth clones all around the lab in the test tubes.
Yeah.
So, fun thing there. I am looking forward to him. However, he will probably go unplayed because he comes out the same day as Final Fantasy Rebirth. Rest in peace, Dead.
I'm so glad I caught my pre-order when I did.
The other problem is no one really seems to give a crap about Ed in the Facebook community or the FGC community. Everyone's too,
everyone is checking out on my timeline.
No. I'm just gonna say everybody is still dick riding Akuma, and that's the thing. That man is gonna be dangerous, but he's gonna take damage like a piece of glass. And you're still going to get throw looped by Ken, just this time as a very angry old man. People need to quit dick riding Akuma. He's not going to be the end all be all. He's just the final character for season 1.
Yep.
Move on with your lives. Now, moving on over to Tekken, we can talk about that later because Joe's been putting in time with Tekken.
Tavares, what'd you think?
I'm not big on the Street Fighter or the FGC at all, but I was happy to see that everyone's getting a piece of the pie now. Tekken is back, Street Fighter's back. I do feel like as much as from what I've been hearing from Tekken players, though, especially when it comes to King, I feel like that lightning grab, whatever that was he did, is going to get old real fast.
Again,
I fight Kings all the time. I have a very simple solution for that. Block.
Right. Counter grabs are a thing if you're facing King players. That's all I'm saying. Counter grabs.
I feel like he will be the King equivalent of you need to learn how to counter grab.
I say that all the time.
You just gotta learn to read the grabs. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you counter grab, you're fine, but if you miss your window, you're in for a world of hurt.
That's what I saw. It was like the TikTok of Peter getting slammed through the ceiling by Goblin. It's like point of view, you didn't get the grab counter by King, and now you're watching an animated cinematic of your health bar dropping.
Yep, very much. But no, it looks like it's available now. So again, also speaking of fighting games, before we get to the Capcom question, Microsoft Killer Instinct. What you waiting on at this point?
So let's move into that when we get to the Microsoft news, because actually I have theories.
Okay, well I'm gonna hold on that then. Well, we'll get to the Capcom question, because Capcom has decided to ask its people. I cannot make this up. This is an actual real poll. Yes, Capcom has done this. Capcom has sat there and said, which Capcom franchise would you like to see return? Dead Rising, Okami, Omnimusha, Dino Crisis, Mega Man, Ghosts and Goblins, Final Fight, Ace Attorney, or something else?
Okay, now I've seen the results of this. I'm going to ask both of you. What do you think is number one? You weren't supposed to click that.
I beat you to the punch.
I figured it was going to be Mega Man or Dino Crisis.
Yeah, my money was on Dino Crisis. But the fact that we're looking at this, Mega Man by 30%. Okay, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm a Mega Man fan. I have loved Mega Man ever since its inception on the NES. I've loved the X series. I've loved the BattleNet. Do we need another Mega Man franchise? Not right now. We don't.
You got Mighty Number 9.
I mean, Mighty Number 9 was okay, but here's my thing. When you're trying to run a game that was really built for the 8 to 32-bit graphics area, and you're trying to push it on next-gen systems, and you don't change anything, it looks out of place. It looks stale. It doesn't give that same nostalgia feeling. Now, can we have a Mega Man game sometime in the future? Yes, but it needs to be heavily retooled. It needs to have a better polish on it. But think about the games we have here. Dead Rising, okay, had its run. Okami, I can kind of see that. Omnimusha, definitely. Omnimusha, I would definitely say.
There are so many samurai games out there right now. We do not need Onimusha.
Yeah, that Ronin game.
Rise of the Ronin.
If you're working on a samurai-esque game, you need to just push it a year behind whenever that comes out.
Yeah, we got like Onimusha, we got Ronin, we got Ghost of Tsushima, we got Sekiro, we got
there's a Sekiro sequel coming out. I forgot about
we got Elden Ring, because you can play a samurai build in Elden Ring. You got the samurai version of Elden Ring and that other game made by Team Ninja. We don't need another samurai game. Huh?
Was that Sekiro? Or am I thinking?
No, Sekiro is the ninja one, but it's
Samurai Tenju.
The samurai.
It's like a Souls-esque samurai game.
Samurai game.
Yeah,
I'm blanking on the title, and I know what you're talking.
It's got like 2 versions out right now. We don't need another samurai game. We don't need Onimusha.
Okay, but I can at least get behind Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis should happen again, just because that was an underrated gem for PS, for the PlayStation. It needs to have a revamp for franchise.
I think people are in love with Dino Crisis because we were all hyped on Jurassic Park, but then only Dino Crisis 1 and 2.
But you also had Turok at the time. You had
Dino Crisis entirely.
So what?
Dino Crisis and Turok are not the same genres.
True, but they were both 2 actual first-person shooter. I'm sorry, one was a first-person shooter, the other one was a third-person shooter, but they still both actually did fairly well. So I can see Dino Crisis. Mega Man, I can understand. Ghosts and Goblins.
We just had a Ghosts and Goblins remake. We don't need another one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have a hard time with that one. Final Fight. I mean, that's just
Street Fighter 6 is Final Fight.
Yeah, fair enough. Ace Attorney, and then something else. Now, I'm not against it. Again, Capcom, thank you for actually doing the one thing we've always asked you to do, was to listen to your fans. I'm kind of curious to see what they will do with this poll. I think that's just them wanting to interact with us and see which where our attention is gathered. But currently, as you see the results right there, guys, Mega Man seems to be leading the pack. Okonami is behind them, Dino Crisis, and then Dead Rising. And then after Omnimusha, it's just a free-for-all after something else. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they pick one to work on, and in the meantime, we get another port party, kind of like what Capcom, or is it that what Sega's doing with the Dreamcast with the revivals, and kind of like what they do with Rare Replay. I can see them doing all of like a Rare Replay with all of those titles.
The one thing, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll do mine after.
No, I was just gonna sit there and say if Sega actually has a chance to give us a Dreamcast Mini. Sega has the opportunity to give us a Dreamcast Mini right now, because for a lot of us that love the Dreamcast, which I'm assuming is everybody in this chat right now, to have a Dreamcast Mini of the original games, like I know some games are ported, some games are modded, but to have an original Dreamcast Mini game with some of the games that are hard to find, Rival Schools, Power Stone.
See, there's your problem.
What's that?
Is with the Dreamcast Mini, you won't be able to get those.
Not without a lot of red tape. Not without a lot
of red tape, because you won't be able to get Soul Calibur 2 on there. That's Bandai. You won't be able to get Power Stone. That's Capcom.
Well, technically, it can, as long as they agree to it. But again, you are right about that. If they agree to it, yes. But previous history has said otherwise. So you're right.
I'll give you that. 1, 2, and shuffle.
Yeah. So I was like, previous history would say otherwise. You're right about that.
Here's the thing. Capcom, anytime they revive or put out a collection, they make money. Mm-hmm. That Battle Network collection, which I bought, that thing sold amazingly well.
Yeah.
Hyper Street Fighter 2 Turbo, whatever it was on the Switch, sold amazingly well. Anytime Capcom does this, they are rewarded. Now, I know you said your thing on Mega Man. I got to remind you, Mega Man comes in many different facets.
True.
So we can resurrect the Legends thing and do a 3D free roaming shooter with Mega Man Legends 3. That won't happen, guys, but they can reboot Mega Man Legends and go even bigger and broader with like a RE2 version, or they can make a modernized version with updated graphics and voice acting version of the Battle Network series, the Star Command series. They can do X Command Mission 2. They can reboot. They can make a Dark Souls version of Mega Man 0.
Ooh.
You can do a litany of things with Mega Man, not just shoot.
But here's the thing, though. My thing is, why not, instead of revamping, come with something new?
Because every time they try something new, it doesn't work out, and it actually is proven that people don't want new from Capcom. They want things remade better that they already played as a child.
Okay.
Because let's look. How well did Resident Evil 2 remake go over?
Oh, Resident Evil 2 was all. I mean, that was easy. I'm not gonna say. I mean, let me rephrase that. It was an easy sell, just because of what they did. You basically revamped the control. You revamped You revamped the game mechanics. You revamped every part of it, almost to the point to where it was seamless.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's an easy sell. Resident Evil 3, same thing. You may have tweaked the story slightly. You revamped the graphics. You worked the game mechanics. But again, easy sell. Resident Evil 4, same thing. You revamped it. You retooled it. You made the graphics better. And again, it's an easy sell. My thing is, for Resident Evil, again, because after 6 annoyed me. I can't stand Resident Evil 6.
I feel like I skip 6 and just go straight to what was after? What was before Village?
Biohazard 7.
Just flat out 7. Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Wait, what came out after 7? I'm trying to think. There's 2 that were
Village.
That was Village.
Village and one. Yeah, so Village and that one before it. People just skip right over 6.
I tell people all the time, skip 6. I was like, don't get me wrong. I love Resident Evil 0. I love Resident Evil 0, the first Resident Evil. I love 2. I love 3. I love 4. 5 is great because you can co-op with somebody. I skip 6. 7 and 8 are treasures. But you notice, and I say this all the time, you notice after 6, they had to retool Resident Evil altogether because 6 ticked off a lot of Resident Evil fans, myself included. So with Biohazard and Village, they had to turn around and revamp it to where it's like, okay, this is your long apology to us. Now, do I think Mega Man can do that? Yes, but to me, it's like, okay, like my favorite series all the time will always be the X and 0 series. I love those. I love X 1 through 3. I love 0 1 through 3. But if you're going to do something new, it's got to be something. I mean, take the time to do it. Capcom has the ability. We see them do it with Street Fighter. They revamped Street Fighter from 4, and look, they for something nobody saw coming, it is now one of the most popular fighting games to be played online or offline, right next to Tekken 8. So the ability for Capcom to make it better is there. I just want them to do that. I just want them to do that for Mega Man.
And I agree with that, but there are but also conversely to what you're saying, they did revamp 2 games and try to update modernly. Ghosts and Goblins became Maximo.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Maximo anymore.
Maximo's a train wreck.
Dino Crisis became Exoprimal.
And that was a train wreck. That was actually a letdown. If we're being honest, Exoprimal.
That's actually also because we got teased because we very clearly saw Regina in those games. And they're going, no, that's not Regina. It's like, you're a liar, and we will not buy this because you're lying to us. All they had to do was say, this is what Regina's doing now, and that thing probably would have made more money.
Yeah, it's the Star Trek. It's the Star Trek all over again. It's not Khan. You know, it's J.J. Abrams saying it's not Khan.
This is the case of there are 5 lights, but we're going to tell them there are 4 lights.
But yeah, but I'm not against it. Like I said, if they want to revamp Mega Man, make it surprising. That's my big thing about it. But
I want them to do more Okami. I mean, Okami then is still one of the hardest games you can find. Except for me, it's over right there on my shelf in the back.
And I wouldn't be against that either.
We just not talk about Operation Raccoon City.
That's actually not too bad.
It's not bad. It really isn't.
Now, if we want to go bad, we can go with Resident Evil Gaiden on the Game Boy. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that one alone. No, Operation Raccoon City wasn't bad at all, but you know what Operation Raccoon City was? That's what you have on Village and Biohazard, the Mercenaries. That's basically the same gameplay. But I digress. But before we get to Microsoft, because a couple of quick news. If you love Nintendo amiibos and are kind of mad that a few of them that, were here today and gone tomorrow, well, Nintendo has announced that they're bringing back hard-to-find amiibos this year. Those amiibos will be back in stores in March. They have already announced that one of those being that the Guardian from Breath of the Wild will be available. One of the more popular ones, they're saying, will be available in stores and on Amazon very soon.
That's not the one I'm after.
I got asked because I've never been.
The link in Midna, I've been considering that one. I got a Sora amiibo in the vault, but just because I haven't played Twilight Princess in a while, but I think I want that for the collection. I'm not sure yet.
Not after those either.
Okay, because I know for me, I've never collected them. I've seen them all the time, and I always thought they were pretty cool talk pieces. But Joe, what's the amiibo that you're trying to hunt down?
Terry Bogard.
Oh, good Lord.
I've got notifications on for that, and that dude goes up and down every single day on Twitter.
I was gonna say you're trying to find that one. I mean, I don't.
I'm not trying to find one of my favorite fighting game characters of all times.
I mean, granted, but it's like that one is. You got a better chance of catching Pokemon at that rate. But I'm not against it though. Like I said, it's like amiibos are great. I'm slowly getting into them. I've actually collected them myself. So I guess come March, I need to join the hunt. So Tafari and Joe, I guess I'll be joining you guys as far as trying to track down this stuff.
I got my Sora one pre-ordered, thank God, but it goes. I have a guy who does like amiibo drops on Twitter, and what was it? I watched him tweet like, "Hey, the Solar Amiibos back up," and the replies are just filled with "you liar." And I'm just like, people just got bots or something going because how did y'all get them that fast?
Right. I mean, I'm just saying. But really quick news before we get to the Xbox event. New Game Plus will be coming to Spider-Man 2 very soon. Percy Jackson, the Olympians. If you haven't seen it on Disney Plus, highly should. I mean, I watched the first season. I think it's great. It's been renewed for season 2. So no issues there with that. I think Disney has a solid home run with Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And of course, Spider-Man 2 with New Game Plus and new costumes coming. I forgot the release date of when that New Game Plus will be optional. What are you going to say, Joe?
Maybe have yet to announce it sometime in March, and I'm fairly certain we'll also be able to control the day and night cycle and the day and night when it rains in the game too in that update. I wonder what new costumes we'll be getting. I'm sure they'll be filling in some of the missing costumes that transition between the first and second game. Me personally,
Madam Web.
So what?
Stuff from Madam Web. That's a little hard. We don't have a female spider model.
Oh, they'll probably throw Madam Web in there just to try to boost ticket sales. What are you gonna say, Joe?
Me personally, I would want them to finally stick in the sensational Spider-Man suit, which is the Ben Reilly Spider-Man suit. I'm fairly certain Chasm's got to be in there at some point. That's considering he's getting another big book coming this summer. Because the next arc after Gang War is I think it's called Brothers Keeper or something, where it's Kane and Ben.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But like I said, we're getting to our next event. Like I said, with those two things going on, we've seen PlayStation State of Play. We've seen them do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as well as show other games. Now it's Xbox's turn.
One more thing. Did you guys know in the Final Fantasy VII demo, if you beat it, you can transfer your save data over to the main game and you won't have to play that section of the game?
Yeah.
I figured they were doing that, but I am currently trying to platinum the first one, and I'm struggling.
Let me rephrase that. A favorite streamer I followed actually found that out. So when I was watching that, and that's what came up. So let me rephrase that. But no, I played the demo. It was fun.
I get to it. I see people remaking songs on the damn piano now.
Yes, that's the part that I love. The fact that people realize, oh, this is an actual piano. You can actually do certain notes. You can actually do certain songs on it. So again, for all those that I don't want to spoil it, but yes, there is a demo out on PlayStationNetwork.com right now. It is completely free. You can download it and play it. And like Joe said, you can take your save game over to the main game, and you don't have to replay that part anymore. So,
is it inappropriate to play This Girl's on Fire in Nibelheim?
I think somebody beat you to it. I'm almost certain somebody beat you to it.
The way they've been talking about how this part of the game might end, I still feel like we're going to stretch this first CD into a third game.
Oh, yeah.
No, they've said that this game ends at the end of Disc 1, which we all know what happens at the end of Disc 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though, that no one's mentioning, and I applaud Square Enix for this, is they are only showing us the cloud side of the game.
Yeah.
No one is talking about the Zack side of the game that we will be obviously playing.
Yeah.
We are only looking at maybe 50% of what this game has in store for us.
And that is the fun part.
Because I guarantee you the game's going to end but Zach's going to go think.
The fact that you literally have a betting house on if Aerith live in this, there is a betting house on that right now.
Well, we know in the game that those two, and for whatever reason, Marlene, are fully aware of what is going on, and they are aware that stuff has happened before.
Yeah.
Why Marlene, we have no idea, but we know.
How is Marlene aware of?
Because she knew Aerith before Aerith ever introduced herself in the first game. Because she immediately trusted Aerith and listened to Aerith, and it's like, oh wait, and then it cut off to another scene. But Marlene knows everything for some bizarre reason.
And that wasn't in the original, right? Or that was?
No, that wasn't in the original.
Marlene never met Aerith in the original version.
Right.
But Marlene, for whatever reason, knows Aerith in this timeline and knows to trust her and listen to her.
Yeah.
We being some fragmented version of the original game.
Well, remember, this is kind of a requel. It's a sequel. It's a remake sequel.
Cool. But they could tweak some parts of it. But I think I'll be curious to see what they do. Because like I said, there's a bet on whether or not she lives. And if she does live, that does open a different paradigm in how the story is told. Or
the new joke I've seen is she dodge rolls out of the way and puts on the Barrett sunglasses. Because have you seen the team up move with Barrett now, where she just like gets on the sunglasses and they
right? And then they got combo moves and stuff now. And I'm just like, okay. And then apparently everyone's excited for the dates, and I'm just like, I can already see the outfits being another trophy.
The interesting thing about that is they are now saying that you can take anyone on a date, which is a little weird because Cloud is 21 and Yuffie is 16, so that's 5 year age difference, but still you. But there are going to be more moments that so-and-so will remember this later is going to be happening in the game.
So that's going to be interesting. So
I'm liking the Sony party. Is New Game Plus getting added in later, like a new thing we do? Because when I got God of War and Spider-Man, they were both complete editions. I didn't even realize they weren't a New Game Plus in both games because I had moved on. Because when I got God of War Ragnarok, I had Sonic Frontiers to pick up right after.
You have to get the digital deluxe version of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth to get New Game Plus.
Yeah. Ew. So, it's interesting that New Game Plus is kind of becoming a standard, which it should for a lot of games. But
and if you are a Final Fantasy fan, Advent Children's coming back to theaters later this month.
If you're
I missed my chance in like 06 because I was in like middle school, and apparently it's like a 2-part film, so this is like the first time.
Oh, they're showing you guys a complete cut version then.
Yeah.
Apparently this is the first time we're getting it's a complete cut in upscaled in 4K. Apparently,
so you're seeing the whole movie. They basically took both. They basically are showing both halves of it, both part 1 and 2.
I remember them having it. I remember them running it.
Good, and then complete made it a lot better.
Yeah. What did you say, Tefar?
I remember them running it in GameStop a lot and selling the PSP DVDs a lot. And then they showed it at City Walk. I'm like, why was this not announced?
Yes, in so many ways. But anyway, Xbox. Let's get to that for a second. So Xbox itself, because they don't want to be outdone by Sony, because apparently they have rivalries. Phil Spencer has teased teases future of Xbox event next week. For all those that don't know, there was a tweet that was done on X. If you still go to the dark place, Phil Spencer says, "quote unquote, we're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week when we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox." Now, this is where I'm going to throw it to Joe, because Joe has some speculations about what they may or may not talk about or show.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
They may be going third party, being a third party distributor. There's already a lot of rumor of we're going to be seeing Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch, or we're going to be seeing KI on possibly PlayStation. That part's speculative, but a lot of games on there, because it's not that Xbox is doing poorly in the console version war, but it's just one of those, they are probably the big parent company wants to make more money. Yeah. And they understand that their console is not getting the money they want. So they are looking and probably going to say, hey, we're going to be doing third-party distribution to other consoles, or we're going to be bringing Game Pass to, say, the Switch, because they've said in the past they would love to bring a Game Pass style system to the Switch and make money off of it that way. A lot of people are either for this. A lot of people that are Xbox loyalists are against this, and I don't understand why. I'll be completely honest. I don't know what Xbox exclusive you guys have that you think needs to be a stranglehold on a single console. Like your Halo is done and over with, as far as I'm concerned. What console? What game absolutely needs to be on the Xbox? That can't be on anything else.
Well, nothing, because if you think about it, there's not that many exclusives. Now that I think about it,
anytime it is an exclusive, it also, and I don't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry.
No,
but anytime they say Xbox exclusive, what comes immediately after that phrase? Also on Windows 11.
Yeah, because of Microsoft, right?
Yeah. And then people are also upset, like, why are they doing this? Like, guys, I have news for you. Xbox is making games for other consoles since before some of you were born. To elaborate, they've been making Microsoft Flight Simulator since before possibly there was a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, Keith, let's not forget when Microsoft had acquired Activision, the scariest thing was they're going to take Call of Duty and make that exclusive, scaring the crap out of PlayStation owners. Which again, nothing happened because they turned around and said, "Well, no, we're not going to restrict it. You guys will still have access to it." So it's weird. It is weird that they're trying to go so many routes with this. But if I'm going to speculate, because again, Xbox kind of showed its hand in development digital, because the only thing that we really got out of that was the Indiana Jones game, which looks great, and other games. But at this point, we need to see something that Xbox is going to restore our faith in. Now, I could sit there and say I want to see Gear 6 all day. May or may not happen. We might not even get no news on that. I would love to see something about Killer Instinct. I would love to see if the what's this called? Something Galaxy. Iron Galaxy. There we go. I would love to see if Iron Galaxy comes forward and says, "You know what? We're doing a new Killer Instinct." Because to me, it's always been the fighting. The fighting games have always had a trinity to me, and the trinity, well, more like a quartet. So let me take it back, because most fighting game, when you think fighting games, what are you thinking? Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken. And, it can be argued. And I say this, it can be argued. The fourth one is always arguable. You can sit there and say Killer Instinct. You can sit there and say Soul Calibur. It's always argued as over who the fourth game is. It's never been a scene of 5. But for Microsoft's sake, Killer Instinct needs to be announced, or something of that nature. Gears of War, before it loses steam already, needs to have an announcement. What I'm afraid is what's going to happen. What I'm afraid is going to happen next week. We're going to get a Halo announcement. And that's what's going to bug me. And as much as I love Halo, and as much as Tafari, because Tafari has pointed this out on his page and other places, about the wonderful Black History skins that they decided to do for no reason.
You're getting teabagged in the lobby. Just know that.
I'm just going to be honest. If I see anybody wearing that as I'm playing Infinite, I'm going to take a plasma grenade and just literally just tell everybody to stick you. I'm just going to be honest about that. But no, go ahead, Joe.
There's one thing Phil Spencer cannot come out and do next week.
What's
Absolutely not. It's come out and again apologize to the people, because that's almost any time you see Phil Spencer at this point, it's with an apology.
True. It is, but I think in this case, well, I mean, with that and the nasty business after Activision Blizzard, I think they're trying. Yeah. So what do you say, Tafar?
So that whole debacle.
Yeah, I mean, they had to do a lot of PR damage control on that. Now, honestly, it has to be something. Now, it's either going to be something groundbreaking, like they talked about the fact that a new apparatus that's going to match what the PS4, what the PS5 is doing with its console, which me and Joe talked about, because honestly, what's the point? Because the console that came out for the PS5, that's a handheld, does not have Wi-Fi. You must be in range of the PS5 itself. And at the same time, it's basically just a giant paperweight.
No, they actually clarified that. The thing just needs a stable Wi-Fi connection and play connect. So you can play anywhere where there's Wi-Fi.
Oh, so they did. Okay, so they did change that. Because I was like, the first time we saw that, I was like, this is just a glorified paperweight to take in the house.
I think they're just going to come out and announce, hey, we're going the way of Sega. consoles are no longer our big. Consoles will be here, but they're no longer be our focus. We're going to start focusing on game creation and distribution. I honest to God think they're just going to go the way of Sega. And honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think them putting out their library to other consoles to make them money is probably the better way to go.
But let's go devil's advocate for a second, because you just went from 3 popular systems now down to 2. So, and let's be honest, as much as I love Nintendo versus Sony, that's not a fight.
But it's also never been Nintendo versus anybody except for Sega, because after GameCube, Nintendo just says, we don't care. We're doing whatever we want.
True. But at the same time, if the only other option you have outside of PC is Sony versus Nintendo, but Xbox basically becomes a third-party proprietor like Sega does, it just makes it easier for Sony to turn around there and say, what are the choices that you have, Nintendo or Steam?
And people will still have their Steam Decks and their PCs. I mean, let's look outside of the US. Microsoft barely moves.
Oh, I agree. Don't get me wrong. I fully agree with that. They know their bread is buttered when it comes to North America. So I get that. But I cannot see them fully abandoning consoles for just third-party development. I can't see that.
I can, because I mean they undercut every time they say Xbox exclusive. By the way, Windows Store, like they always undercut themselves by saying this.
Most of you are logged in on a PC anyway, so go get that.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll just be: do you want this on PC or do you want this on PlayStation?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And
but
I mean, PC does have untethered frame rate. You can go as smooth as you want to the point where your eyes bleed from smoothness, or you can play PlayStation and be capped at 30. You have uncapped frame rate.
I kind of learned that lesson about frame rates because my eyes could not keep up with it. I had to turn it down.
When the motion blur is just the words press start.
I was just like, I tried that and I was like, oh dear God, what did I do? It's like your eyes keep up with it, but your brain is trying to process it, and it's like playing ping pong across the board. But
look, if they go third party, it's only going to be the most diehard of diehard people that are going to complain. And honestly, they don't have anything to complain about. Like,
could just get new controllers.
Yeah, could just get new controllers. Ah! Yeah. That would be interesting, but I don't know. We'll find out next week exactly what they come up with. I'm kind of curious to see what Phil Spencer will say, but hopefully, like you said, Joe, it won't be apologizing. So,
I mean, honestly, if there's anything I do want them to say, it is Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch.
That would kill it, though. But so a couple news we have left, guys, before we get to our comic pulls tonight. Daredevil, because Daredevil Born Again, and I've got to stop doing this just because this is already happening with Netflix, Avatar: Last Airbender, and that I love the fact that news is coming out and they gave us a great trailer, but now news is coming out that we don't really need to see. And Daredevil's starting to go that route. What I mean by that is, guys, they showed us pictures of the sets. Now, of course, we can see there that Foggy and Karen are definitely back, along with Charlie Cox's Daredevil, and that's great. That they're actually filming on location in Hell's Kitchen. Even though about a few months back, it was said that their characters may not be coming, but thankfully the ship has been righted and that they are both back. Now, here's the thing. Everybody is talking about this picture, and just give me a second here to make this a little bit bigger. So, of course, they're talking about the suit that Daredevil has on, which is going back to the more modern, traditional red and black. As you can see, I forgot. It looks like, I want to say that's, what's his face? He'll come back to me later.
It's not Zemo.
No, it's not Zemo. Oh, hell no, it's not Zemo. But people are already, again, going over the fact of, well, he went from red and yellow on She-Hulk to now traditional red and black. And it's like, guys, I'm gonna be so honest about this point that I'm gonna make. that I love Daredevil. Do not be wrong. Is Disney banking hard on Born Again? Yes. Are they going to make sure the cast is star-studded? Yes. Do we need to see everything that happens on the set? No. Because here's my thing. When you build up anticipation like this, and you're showing us scenes, and you're showing us this, and you're showing us that, I get the whole idea for news sake, but to me, it kills the anticipation. It's like, if you see enough of something, either you're going to get tired of it, or you're just going to be like, I'm just going to stay off social media until it happens. Can we honestly say at this point that when it comes to Daredevil Born Again, that it's starting to go that route, or is it just me?
I feel like they saw all the leaks or the reactions to the original news, and this is them purposely leaking stuff to do damage control.
I mean, if it is a leak, then okay, it's a leak. I understand that, but it's like they have, again, also to their detriment, they did say security was tightened up on the set. So
yeah, it's very tight as I can see.
Yeah, so it's
This
like
one-
it's a personal shot, but it's just like from what was told, like people were able to get on some unwanted visitors were able to get on set. Some people were actually able to get into trailers. So it's like, okay, I understand it. You're wanting to do quality work, but at the same time, you got to again tighten up on some things. Like again, I get the whole idea that we want to be hyped about Born Again. Hell, we might actually see something else on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm just spitballing here, but like I said, just for Born Again, let it rest, or better yet, point people to the Daredevil comics right now, where again, Daredevil. I'm sorry.
I was saying, let it crock pot.
Yeah, I'm like, or if you want to get a Daredevil fix, point them to the current run right now, where Matt is a priest and is slowly getting back his memories. Point them in that direction. That's completely fine. But to just, I mean, it's like you're kind of beating a dead horse at this moment. But Joe, what do you think?
I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. I've seen the other one where it shows White Tiger.
Yeah.
I've had people come ask me, he's like, so is White Tiger just a white dude? Is Black Panther's like, no, White Tiger's never been a white person. They've either been black, Puerto Rican, or in one case, an actual white Bengal tiger in the form of a human.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But speaking of the last thing I have, guys, before we get to our comic pulls, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I don't know how true this is, but again, it kind of makes sense. Batman's Arkham Knight on PS4 player count has climbed in the last 2 weeks by 50% because of this launch. Now, again, we are not here at GetBit to tell you what to play or not to play. We are not here for that. We are not gatekeepers. We're not telling you that this sucks. We're not telling you not to do that. That's simply not that's not our bag. That being said, however, we do give our opinions on certain games that may or may not be worth our time, and then you can possibly go from there and make up your own accord. Suicide Squad, to me, was a great idea by Rocksteady. Tafari kind of said this very well. It really could have been an Elseworlds tale, but how they decided to do with every player did not need guns. If anything, the only people that should have had guns was Harley and Deadshot. That's it. I can't see King Shark himself has abilities. And Captain Boomerang, you could get away with maybe a sidearm, but he still has a traditional weapon. At the same time, you're making this a Captain Boomerang that has a link to the Speed Force. I'm just saying. And
even the Deadshot retcon was like, all right, that happened.
Yeah. But I mean, aside from that, I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes the gameplay didn't look really enticing. At the same time, there was issues with the story that had to be explained or had to be kind of curtailed. For me and Joe at the time, we just didn't see the point. We didn't see the point of the Justice League kill the Suicide Squad. I mean, it's a great idea, and it just didn't fly. But does a game that bad make you go to an Arkham Knight game to play it? Don't get me wrong, Batman Arkham Knight, arguably to me, if I had to think about it, if I had to rate the Arkham Knight or the Arkham Knight games, if I had to rate them, I mean, Arkham Asylum is good. Arkham City would probably be number 2. Origins would be 3. I can give and Knight to me is still top tier. Knight to me, I still gotta give it to 1. But Joe, but if I had to ask you in Safari, because real quick, I want to know, and Joe, I'll start with you. If you had to rate the Arkham series in your opinion from 1 to 4, what would you rate them as?
City, Asylum, Origin, Knight, because it was so obvious of who it was the whole time. Plus, the Batmobile sequences were completely unnecessary because it was basically playing Scooty Puff Jr. versus Scooty Puff Sr. the whole time. Like, I didn't really care for it.
I can respect that. Safari, what about you?
Probably just because I had an overall better experience with it. The full game, I will go City, Knight, Asylum, then Origins. Just because Arkham City was one of the first games where every time they dropped the DLC, I went to the store and bought that code and came back and I had the time of my life. Whereas Arkham Knight was the beginning of Warner Brothers realizing this was profitable and we're just going to stick our hands in it and make it weird.
Yep, I can see that. But like I said before, it's Suicide Squad again for all those listening with the listening sound of our voices. Again, don't take this as us down in the game. Again, it's just our opinions. If you still want to try it out, then try it out, and you may have a fun time. Like I said, it just wasn't our bag. But the fact that we're seeing the fact that made news and an uptick in a previous game that was released sent players there kind of says a lot. But also, guys, yeah, what's that?
Do what I do. Watch a playthrough movie.
Oh, that's
3.5 hours. You get everything you need.
Pretty much what I caught was the cutscenes and the little references. Shout out to Batman Arkham Videos, who's been holding down the community for a year.
Mm-hmm. I think Suicide Squad movie is 3 hours. I think Kill Just Leaves 3 hours. I'll have to look back up.
I don't see why they didn't just make Deadshot Bloodsport, because if another dude's been doing your job for so many games in the franchise and he's the imposter, you're technically now the substitute.
Pretty much. But I'm surprised that Bloodshot hasn't been in a Suicide game yet. But also, really quickly, before we get to our comic book pools, Moon Girl Season 2. I have not finished Season 2. Guys, have y'all watched an episode or y'all finished Season 2?
I've caught episodes here and there. I have not successfully been to the show. I like what I see, though. Like, if I was a younger Disney kid, that would be something I'd turn to every time it's on.
Joe?
It was so much fun. I watched the whole thing in 2 days. The music is always on par. Animation's fantastic. The cast continues to be great. I like that we're dealing with PTSD in there. We get Zolo Melendez. I don't know his.
Blue Beetle. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
As a reoccurring character, that's really good. Lawrence Fishburne continues to be hilarious. As the Beyonder. We have a nice surprise villain, which this is going to say, I have no other way of putting this, and I really don't, is I want to know why they continue to use this character to connect to young Black children. But they do. He's the villain of the main Season 2, and the last time he was healed with a burger, but he just seems to connect to young Black children every time he's used in the story. I really had a lot of fun. It ends on a cliffhanger, so definitely Season 3 will happen, and that may be the final season. I am unsure if they said this was only like most Disney animated series where it's only 3 seasons, or in like Owl House Kaysen's 2 seasons and 3.5 hour long episodes that are cramming a season into it.
I can see that.
I had such a wonderful time with that series. It's so good.
Yeah, I watched a couple of episodes myself. Still need to finish the second season, but yeah, Moon Girl seems to be a hit. And like you said, we're not sure if it's gonna, get the Disney treatment, which is usually 3 seasons. Because we're seeing that on the Star Wars side with the Bad Batch going through its 3rd season. So We shall see.
My favorite episode is not even a big plot one. It's the one where Pops' former best skate friend and skating partner comes back from Chicago.
Oh yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about.
It was a hoot.
Nice. Well, as we're about to get to our comic pool, guys, we always do want to show love to Rick's Comic City. Rick's Comic City, Nashville's #1 place to go to for comic books, for mangas, for collectibles, for posters, pretty much anything nerdy you can find there. They do have 2 locations, one in Nashville, Tennessee, and one in Clarksville, Tennessee. They also have their website at Rick's Comic City. You can definitely do the same thing there as far as pull lists, comic books, hard trade covers, things of that nature. Trust me, guys, you will not be disappointed. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, let them know that Get Bit Podcast sent you. It doesn't get you discounts, but at least lets you know that you'll see our handsome mugs on the TVs in there. So we always want to show them love because they show us love. At the same time, if you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, guys, support your local libraries, support your local comic book stores. I get it. The FYE, the Barnes Noble, the Amazons, they all have the digital stuff. But as we just got through talking about at the beginning of this podcast, digital media is not the way you want to go. Physical media is the way you want to keep things. So again, definitely, and also your local comic book stores, you will find such treasures in there, and all you have to do is go to them, support them, because they definitely need that. As far as your libraries go, as you see, Joe has the card up. Kids, read the banned books. Not to go into a long explanation, but books are being withheld from you from libraries. And again, guys, if you don't know what that means, go to your local librarian, ask for the banned book list. Some libraries actually do keep a list of banned books. You'll be able to go to them and be able to read them because, guys, there's something in there they don't want you to know that you really should do. So for all of us here at GetBit, definitely read the banned books. Support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries, because trust me, you're going to miss them when they're gone. So I see, Joe, you got your list up, sir. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Marvel, we got next up we got Sensational She-Hulk #5 with Rainbow Rowell. And art by Ig Guerrera and colors by D. Coffney. This is just a continuation of last issue where she goes out on a girls' night out with Patsy Walker Hellcat and Carol Danvers to a coffee shop, and this issue deals with the sudden demon invasion of Hellmouth opening up in the cafe, which may or may not be Patsy's fault because of her bizarre connection to hell. When her ex-boyfriend Damien Hellstorm pops, it was like, there have been some breaches in the veil of hell, and it's a little thin around here. That's my bad. I'm here to clean it up.
It just happened to be in my favorite bar.
Yes.
That part was the awkward part. It's like, you look well. Change your hair? I was like, damn. This is awkward for a February issue. Like, really? Just right around Valentine's Day, you had to have the awkward conversation. Just, yeah, so you dated the Lord of Hell, and that was awkward.
She almost became Mrs. Tony Stark, but that got taken over by Emma.
Yeah. Well, then again, Emma has always found her way into nice, posh places, but no, this is actually a good issue. It's just, okay. The whole idea of, they really did tease Hellcat and Hellstrom being back together again. It's like that awkward, yeah, we were terrible together, but we should probably try again.
We were terribly fun. Fun issue, love it to death. Daredevil #3. This is written by Erica Schultz with art by Sergio De Volva, ink by Sean Parsons, and colors by CC De La Cruz. We get to see one of Laura's not quite sisters back.
Yeah.
Belladonna as an enforcer for Madame Mass taking on Elektra as Daredevil with actually good art for She-Hulk and Spider-Man in this amount of gang war.
Was it a different artist?
Let this go.
Was it a different artist?
Oh yeah, it's the Daredevil. It's a Daredevil artist, not a Spider-Man artist.
It's only one artist we're looking for every time it's Spider-Man. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we see John Romita Jr., we know, well, She-Hulk's going to have either scales or something.
He made a reptilian. That's the messed
No,
up part.
I just dig it. It's just a nice, it's just a continuation of the giant war that is New York, and Elektra doing the very best she can be, and the only Daredevil in Hell's Kitchen at the moment. Being a Wolverine clone, going against a Wolverine clone is never a easy thing to do. So the Woman Without Fear does the best with a woman who heals, has knives out of claws, and doesn't feel pain.
Yep, good luck with that.
So, pretty good. I dug it, but then again, I dig most of these gang war titles that aren't labeled Spider-Man.
I'm sorry.
And then Book of the Night, which I kind of was hoping the man on the wall would join us for this, but I guess he can't make it. But man, this book was so good.
And yet we can't say spit. We can't say spit
this is
about
written by Brian Hill with art by Stefano Caselli, colors by David Creel. So this is Ultimate Black Panther. This is taking place in the Ultimate Universe. Basically, to quote, not quite. The names have not been changed to protect the innocent, but different world, different people, different setup, different relationships.
Yeah.
Just know that Ron Khonshu are buddy and taking all over Africa with their sons Hunter Moon and Moon Knight, who have a unstoppable army sweeping across Africa when they finally make it to Wakanda. And T'Challa, who is married in this one to a very interesting person. However, the relationship is questionable because they have a honeymooner's bed situation. Has to decide, are we going to move the armies of Wakanda, or will we stay the course? Shuri wants to move. Okoye makes her things known. We get to see T'Chaka. We get to see the matron of Von Doom, which I guarantee you is Black Panther's mom. I guarantee it.
You might be right.
We also get to see an interesting pairing of Killmonger and somebody else, also in Wakanda. We won't spoil that, but they make a very interesting couple.
Yeah.
We won't say too much more on this. It's just this was Book of the Week, and this book was fantastic. There's actually several articles stating that this book has been sold out of first and second print. So if you had not pre-ordered this, you are not getting this book until March. Late March.
Yeah, it was that. And again, it's one of those things to where the story itself is really that good. I will say credit for this for it being an ultimate run. It's really that good. But still can't say anything about this. I know our podcast brethren, Chris Fury, once he reads this, I am more than certain we're going to hear about it from his side, and I can't wait to hear his opinion as well. But yeah, good issue.
Far, did you even get a chance to read this?
I didn't find out about it until recently, until everybody said don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I've seen this like floating around though, so clearly it is up there, and definitely it is amongst the comic talks on every site I've gone to. So clearly they've done something with this one. I do like the suit though.
Oh yeah.
They've done right. I will be honest with you. They've really done right in this story, and I just hope it continues properly. That's the big thing. It needs to continue properly. If it does, we got no issue. But I have hope. It gives me hope. That's all I can say.
do have hope because this is 2 for 2 for home runs for the Ultimate Universe. Ultimate X-Men, I think, will probably be a bit more divisive because it's Peach Momoko, who has a very unique art style. And this is a team of X-Men that is going to be solely in Japan. So that's going to be... I will probably be a little bit more biased on that one, but I'll also have a sharper eye on it.
Okay.
But at the same time, I do think we will be 3 for 3. It's very weird that the architect behind everything may, in fact, have the weakest book out of the 4 Ultimate books. But I mean, Jonathan Hickman can probably try and salvage it the best he can. But like that first Ultimate Invasion by Jonathan Hickman, and then Ultimate Universe by Jonathan Hickman, is just like, I do not care for exposition load with pretty pictures. I need more character development and more and some action.
Nice.
I mean, the first Spider-Man book was, I mean, kind of a lore dump, but at the same time, it got the world moving, it got the world going.
Yeah.
I don't care about the politics. All you had to tell me in 2099 is Doom is president, and like that explains half of what's going on in 2099 immediately. All you got to tell me in this book is, hey, Hulk rules Europe, and no one rules, and 2 people rule Africa, and who runs the United States? We don't know. By the way, here's Spider-Man.
Right. I'm just saying, but no, it's a good issue. But we can't talk about this guy. We gotta wait a week. But what else you got, Joe?
No, this is it. This is book of the week. Like,
okay.
At this point, we're just talking. We're just doing the Bruno song at this point.
The fact we can't talk about it, but when I'm gonna wait for. I'm gonna get Chris, because once Chris gets to read it, I want his opinion on that as well. But thank you, Joe.
In on that. I want to be and talk to him about.
I'm gonna pull him. I'm gonna see what his schedule's like for next week and kind of see if we can get him in on that, because I definitely want his opinion. But with that being said, guys, we are definitely gonna go ahead and call it a night. With that being said, I do want to start with Tafari, because Tafari, you want to let people know where they can find you, sir?
So I can be found here on all platforms officially, where my content will maybe not go viral, but will be stolen by certain article sites. I also do things on Mondays, because Mondays are terrible, and I try to make them less terrible. So it's also Black History Month, so please be sure to support a Black creator, Black cosplayer, support a Black-owned business. Shout out my man Ozzy Oz the Virus on the gear, 5th gear. I'm on the wrong shoulder. Just be kind, support one another, engage with people's content, help with the algorithm game. We're trying to get to monetization on the Blurred's Eye View channel, and I do all the editing over there. So please go to the podcast, watch a clip, watch an episode. Make sure my editing is not in vain. I need sleep.
You definitely need sleep, sir, because I thought I needed sleep. You make me look lazy. Joe, you want to let people know what you got going on this week, sir, and where they can find you?
Tekken.
He's back on Tekken. Well, no, actually, you say you were in the Tekken lab. Who's your main this time?
Dragunov.
Ooh. Okay.
If anybody has tips for me getting the hell out of Midgar, save me.
Huh?
If anybody has tips to help me get the hell out of Midgar, save me. I have 2 trophies. I just need to beat one boss, and then I need to just beat the game on hard mode, and I am getting my ass handed to me.
What are we talking about?
Final Fantasy VII, Midgar.
Oh, I'm playing Tekken right now. I have no idea.
I know. I'm saying he's got your strategy. I'm saying if anyone out there has tips to get me the hell out of Midgar so I can go to something else.
Hit me up later. I'll be able to help you. No, I have been playing Tekken streaming over on Total Justice, because that is a gaming channel. So there is gaming to be done. I've already released 2 hours of me just sitting my butt and ranked, and if I'm not in the practice mode doing a wall carry combo that I never am able to pull off in a match, I am in a match either winning, losing, or learning. I actually have no bad matchups at the moment, but now that I'm in the orange ranks, which is 2 ranks below top named people to my knowledge, it is a knowledge check every match. And I have to learn these things, and I must learn my character. But so far, I'm still at that point where I'm spanning the same combo about 80% of the match, and people are still not blocking low. So I will sleep you, and I will grab you, and I will take 65 points of life away from you.
If it works, it works. If it works, it works, though.
I've already had one person yell at me, not on stream. He's like, you just spam, it's like, because you're not blocking low, and I will continue to do this until you learn to block low. And then when he did start blocking low, I started doing the low grab.
And then so you're basically teaching people, Joe.
And
you're teaching them the hard way. I don't know. I'm not dissing. I like it. You are teaching them.
We've already had a balance patch put out, and Dragunov did get hit with like 3 debuffs, and he's still one of the best characters in the game, which is so much better than Tekken 7. I mean, I've been playing this dude since Tekken 5, so
nice.
But still, this is like I just now learned how to heat dash. Last night, it's like, oh, that's what it does. Okay, now we can open a new combo path. Other than that, I got the other channel, which you see right there, Show a Guy Joe, where I am doing Sentai stuff, Super Sentai stuff. Colorful people in spandex with goofy things like this. This thing turns into the ugliest Megazord I've ever seen in my life.
uglier than Operation Overdrive?
I will send you 2 pictures in the group chat, and you can see what Emperor Pat X Emperor Gunner looks like. That thing.
So it's nightmare fuel.
This is its head.
Okay, that is nightmare fuel. All right.
No, yes, no, it's terrifying.
Mhm.
We are looking at the upcoming release of Boon Boonger, which is the new car thing, or as I now am officially just calling it, car with Kingdom Hearts shoes. No, they got Kingdom Hearts shoes. You look
They
at
really
the
do.
Boon Boonger thing, they got the Sora shoes.
They really do.
We just
Sora's not wearing the Sora shoes anymore.
well, then what's the point of the game anymore? You took 10 years to make. You guys realize you have an official Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, and it's been how many years?
Too many.
So, as I say, we got Show a Guy Joe for Tokusatsu stuff, which we will have a new show once Boon Boonger actually starts. Because I want to do episode recaps of this series because I'm just hyped about it and just want to do stuff. We did just drop a new video about the theme song, which you cannot hear, but I do direct you to where you can hear it because Toei will come after me because I'm only 6 people in for subs. So I'm not powerful enough to hold off Toei at the moment.
I see some assistants with something else.
Other than that, I'm building my own version of a slime blower.
Nice.
For Frozen Empire. I just got the 30-gallon gas drum. I need to strap onto the back of an Alice frame. I'm making my own DIY version. It's why I have a black suit. It's for apparently black suits are now official in Frozen Empire, and they mean the testing division.
Interesting.
The technology and testing division in Ghostbusters are black suits.
Because you're mounting the drum to a frame, right?
Hold on real quick.
I was like, because you're mounting it. That's gonna be. Are you mounting it by clips or by? See, now you got me curious.
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay, because
I
I'm.
just know that this thing.
Holy crap!
Back of an Alice frame.
Yeah, I would say.
I'm going to put blue stuff to it to make it look more sciencey.
I would say straps. You will definitely need ratchet straps.
Sure.
Because my God, you will definitely need ratchet straps for that. Did you see it, Tabari? That thing is that thing is huge.
The giant thing he's holding?
Yeah.
What is that?
That is a 30-gallon. That is a 8-gallon gas can for a Jeep that's going to be modded into a slime blower, updated version of a slime blower from Ghostbusters.
And he's strapping that to a frame. He's gonna be carrying on his back.
It's probably going to weigh less than my actual proton pack.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of real estate, though.
And if anybody gets injured, you can just lay them on top of it and carry them off like you would a medic.
I can see that.
No, Ghostbusters doesn't have liability and stuff like that. We work with unlicensed nuclear accelerators. You think we have an accidental and injury insurance? What's wrong with you?
That's fair. Well, thank you for that, Joe. As for myself, guys, I usually do shameless plugging anyway, but also let me first shout out to my friend of mine at Vaughn at Big BZA Dot. You can definitely find him, Big BZA Dot, on social media for beats and things of that nature on his YouTube page. Definitely check him out there. As for yours truly, guys, BlackFox447 is where you can find me on the socials. I do reviews on everything that I watch, including gym stuff, because I like to do a couple push-ups. The shows themselves can be found at the link at the bottom. Just make that a little bit bigger where you guys can find it. If you copy and paste that into your browser, take you to our links to YouTube and Facebook groups for all of our podcasts, How the Frank Got Here, Get Bit, and of course, Off the Fence Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. I cannot stress this enough, guys. Please help us to actually grow, which means that like, share, hit your notifications up. Because again, telling us that I get this a lot, telling us that you love the show, we love what you do. Okay, cool, that's great, that's wonderful. We're not knocking that. But in order for us to grow, guys, you have to share. You have to put it out there. Word of mouth is the greatest form of advertising we have against the algorithm. And right now, the algorithm is haymaking us. So, again, help us, help you. It's all we ask. At the same time, guys, let me also point out Blur Station really quickly. Again, myself, Tafari, and others are a part of the conglomerate for Blur Station. You can definitely find them at blurstation.com. Join up now. It is still $10.99 a month. We only ask that you join under the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership. You can select any member there. We would all appreciate that. At the same time, guys, again, $10.99 a month for content like mangas, for comic books, for television shows like Issue 1, for movies that are currently being in development. Guys, the thing about this is after 36 months of paying $10.99 a month, you can actually own a share of Blur Station. I don't know about you, but it's a whole lot better and a lot easier than trying to get a share of Amazon, Netflix, or Amazon Prime, just because it's an absolute amount of money to get that far. When all you can simply do is pay 36 months of $10.99 and you own a share of Blur Station. Again, check them out at blurstation.com. All right, so as we wrap this up, guys, we will hopefully be back here. Same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. As I'm trying to get there we go. That's what I wanted. So we'll hopefully be back here, guys. Same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel next Friday with the news of the week. Especially whatever Phil Spencer says about Xbox, and whatever stuff that comes out, we will definitely cover it and talk about it. But with that being said, guys, as we wrap this up, guys, anything left to say before we go out tonight?
Just remember, it's about the Super Bowl, not Taylor Swift.
Yes, Super Bowl. Also, yes, if you're going to go out to Super Bowl, guys, please have fun. It's a game. Yes, we do watch it for the commercials, but again, guys, go out, be safe, have fun. Don't do something that gets you into jail, because if you get in jail over the weekend, you're not getting out till Tuesday. That's almost at every county. So keep that in mind when you're out there partying and drinking. That being said, guys, what we do here at Get Bit's all about fandoms. We know them, we love them, we like to share them, discuss them, debate them, but we do not want to be toxic. We do not want to be gatekeepers. We want to welcome everybody to our fandoms because there's room for everybody. So simply put, if you want to show somebody a con, if you want to show them a manga, if you want to show them an anime, if you want to show them something you care about, then show them with love and encouragement. Above all else, don't be a dick. That's all we ask. So with that being said, guys, we do thank you for watching. If you're watching this on the playback, please comment. We still want to know everything that we talked about and your opinions on all this wonderful stuff that we have going on this free Super Bowl weekend. We keep hoping that Ryan Reynolds will drop his trailer tomorrow. If so, then we might do a short clip about it. We don't know about that yet. So with that being said, he's been Tafari. I've been Joe. He's been Joe. I've been Will. I've somehow made it to the end of this podcast and somehow kept my grammar intact. But this is the Get It podcast for tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll all get through this. Peace.